Namaste, Jai Bharat. There are multiple discussions about caste system within the Hindu Dharma, especially from the from those who don't love India very much, from those who don't love Bharat very much. I've seen only such people making huge narratives about the caste system built in within Bharat, the Hindu Dharma, and create multiple narratives about the caste system within Hindu Dharma. Fine. For the time being, especially this caste system was used as an instrument to divide the society by those who ruled, by the missionaries who wanted to proselytize and convert, to convert more people, saying that you don't have equal rights and that kind of narratives, and by the Muslims to degrade Hindus. Only these three sections used the concept of caste seriously and created such narratives that for many people in the world who do not know about Hindu Dharma, casteism is a serious problem. Fine. For the time being, let me say you are all right, but let me ask you a few questions. Number one, you say that we Hindus are divided into castes. Fine. You keep it as one point. Now, when I say that you don't have caste, do you claim? Yes, you will say you don't have caste. But you have sects, right? You can't say no to having sects, both Christians and Muslims. You have got multiple sects. I don't know how many sects you have, but then you do have sects. And can you please compare the caste of a Hindu and the sects of both Christian and Muslim? In case of caste of a Hindu, we don't have caste-based separate temples. Number one, we don't have caste-based separate temples. We have common temples for every Hindu, irrespective of his caste. At least today, even in the past that used to be the case, past this caste system was not so rigid. The caste system came in at one point, it shall vanish in one point. But fundamentally, basically, the Hindus are a united lot. Caste is a temporary phenomenon. I'll repeat that it's a temporary phenomenon. That part we can think, or maybe we'll discuss about that later. The caste, multiple different castes, there are only common temples. There is no separate temples for this caste, this caste, this caste. First point. Second point, for every temple there is a common priest. In the sense, there is no separate priest for caste 1, caste 2, caste 3, caste 4, caste EM. Third point, there is no separate ritual systems for caste 1, caste 2, caste EM. Where on the other hand, look at the other religions. I am not naming, both Christianity and Islam is included together. You have separate places of worship, be it a church, be it a mosque, for different sects. Separate churches. You have separate priests for different churches, mosques. You have separate ways of interpreting the same one and the same text for each sect or denomination of both Christianity and Islam. Look at this fact and look at what I've seen. I talked about the caste system in Hindus, and tell me who's more divided. Who's more divided? The Hindus are divided so drastically in the name of caste, you say, but are you not much more drastically divided? And the point is that you have just one book, one text to follow, and you make interpretations as you feel like, and as each denomination feels like. They're different priests. Each one has their own priests, each one has their own places of worship. In either cases of both Islam and this thing. And you should be, I'll just assume that I'm Arnav Goswami. You should be ashamed of yourselves for pointing out a finger at the Hindus, saying about the Hindu caste system. And this I borrowed from this kind of expressions I find in Arnav really needed, very essential, very pertinent. So I say you should be ashamed of yourselves for finding caste differences among us. And coming to politics, politically, look who spoke very, very vehemently about caste system in recent politics? The Congress. And who are those leaders? You know, do they have any caste? Or are they really Hindus? Of course, by saying that I am a Hindu, you can say that you are a Hindu, you can claim that you are a Hindu, but how are you a Hindu? This question one should ask oneself. Are they really Hindus? Those who claim to be Hindus, are they really Hindus? I make a distinction between authentic Hindu and spurious Hindu. And I have seen many people who claim to be Hindu are spurious Hindus. They have nothing to do with Hindu Dharma. What really makes you Hindu is the consciousness of Dharma. What really makes you Hindu is your essentially being authentic Hindutva, which is fundamentally Hindu Dharma. That is dharmic existence. None of these people, liars can't be Hindus in principle. None of these people are really Hindus. And some people have no genetical connections with Hindus. Born of a assumed Hindu name, because of the 1857 persecution from the British to the Muslims. There are many Muslims who change their names to Gangadhar, Shivankar, etc. Then they adopt a title of their convenience which don't exist anywhere. Then they have their descendants, and they are also crisscrossing not within Hindus. They have they interpreted with others this thing, that thing. And now one fine morning, like Veer Savarkar says, they put the Janayu above the court. That's what people do. And they claim to be Hindus and find fault with the caste system of Hindus because they want to use the caste system. They used. In last elections, they used unsuccessfully. Not very successfully, but used successfully, which is important at this date, at this time, using caste, whereas people are forgetting caste. They are not conscious of caste. Now, who is bothered of caste? Really, no one is bothered of caste, except when people negotiate marriages. Actually, arranged marriages. Otherwise, even their caste doesn't make any difference. One is a Hindu, that's sufficient for all of us in modern times. My son married from a different caste, but then Hindu, that's fine. I want really that much. Because I know there is no real difference between this caste and that caste. There is a small food intake difference. That's not serious. Whatever the peripheral difference is really peripheral, not deep. And all others, do you have the cheek to make caste accusations on Hindu Dharma? Look at yours first. Look at your faces in a mirror. Good mirror, eh? Please see. Then come to find fault with us. We'll come back to you with some other thought some other time. Till then, Namaste. Jai Bharat. Jai Sri Ram.